Yo, Poke26 here, and today I wanted to make a short video highlighting the power of Power Surge. Anyways, basically, Power Surge is a pretty good ability for the Celestial race in Stormgate, and I wanted to highlight why it's beneficial, when it should be used, when it is slightly worse, and so on. So I've kind of set up a scenario here where both sides are using 1300 Luminite to come up with essentially the same production, right? So we got the left side with 4 power banks and 6 creation chambers, and the right side with 4 creation chambers that are all power surged and 7 power banks. The power surge is a bonus that is different for different buildings. For the production buildings, it gives 50% faster train rate on the units, production rate, whatever you want to call it. For some of the other buildings, there are other benefits. You can check those out. But this is for primarily this for now. But in general, Power Surge is really good across the board, situationally. But for production buildings in particular, I think they are that Power Surge is pretty valuable generally all the time. So the main thing I wanted to highlight is this is basically equal for production, right? 4 at 150% should theoretically produce 12 units at the same rate as 6 do at 100%. Now, I believe this is only at yellow power range. When you're at yellow power range on the top bar, I believe they are equal. Now, if you're in green power range, technically the left side is still slightly faster because there is an extra boost that you're getting from being in the green. However, the right side also makes it even easier to get in the green because now you have more Luminite to use to create power banks, and you have more energy or power, I should say. Let's not get them mixed up. You would have more power. As I showed on the screen, this gives you a net of plus 24 power. The right side gives you plus 41. So you can even cut one of these and still be up 2 power and have an extra 100 Luminite to spend. Or you can leave it as is and you have all 4 of these power surged. The power surge cost is included in that, and have 17 extra power to use, which allows you to use more abilities on the top without going into the yellow or red, and so on. So first I'm going to show it. We're going to make 12 units with yellow power, and then we're going to do the same thing with green power and show kind of the differences on the speed. So what we want is 2 units queued in each of the left side and 3 units in each of the right side, and they should both come out with 12 in the end. So basically it should go like this: 4 units, then 6 units from the left, then another 4 units on the right, so 8 total, and then both reaching 12 units at roughly the same time when you're in yellow power. We'll put this to the test here. I'll try to queue it up as close as possible, of course. So we should see 4 units from the right side pop first. You can watch the little progress bars on them for their production. Put those here. And then it's the 6 units from the left side that come out next. So there's this small window where the left side is ahead by a couple units. But now we're back to the right side, having 8 units already. And now the final to reach 12 units for each side should finish roughly the same. We'll put them at the top. it should be a 6 and a 4, so 10 total. And see, they're roughly the same. All of them spawned together. 10 total. 6 from the left. And 4 from the right. So when you're in yellow power, this right side is strictly better. Now, when you're in green power, which we shall now show, let's move these somewhere else and go into green power. So we'll just put, did build the right ones, right? I did not build the right one. Oh, I keep pressing. Oh my god. Whoops. Anyways, we just want to go into green power here. It doesn't really matter what we're building. This doesn't really have an impact on the thing apart from putting us in the green to provide a situational example. Okay, so now that we're in green power, technically the left side is slightly better. But like I said, it's easier to get into green power with the right side because you can produce 17 more power on the same resources. And it's easier to stay in green power because if someone's attacking your base, you can remove the power surges, and as you see, we gain 40 power, and then you can put them back whenever as well. So power surge is something you want to use as much as possible while you can still stay in the green, in my opinion. And then when you're getting attacked or you're planning to use a bunch of, like, you're already going for your attack maybe, and you're planning to use like purify a bunch, and you're going to need extra power for it, maybe you can turn off the power surges, get that extra power to do so, and you're good. Anyways, we're going to show the production here. We're going to do, oh, whoops. We're going to do the same thing. So it'll still be 4 from the right first, and then 6 from the left, and then 4 from the right. But then the final 10 will be slightly off from before. So yeah, as you can see, the 4 still spawns, the 6 still spawns from the left, so the right side is still ahead at larger intervals, and just overall better so far. Right, now you got the other 4, and then the last 10, you can see that when you're in green power supply, they are slightly off now because you got an extra bonus from being in the green. The left side now technically produces these 6 slightly faster. But, like I pointed out, you have a lot more flexibility because you can remove the power surges when needed. You have 7 power banks instead of 4, providing more power overall. You got 17 more power from that at the same cost. This also means with 7 power banks, you now have 3 extra power banks to energize your units and give them, you know, more energy to use in fights. So there's just a lot of benefits in general to go for a more power surge centric build rather than non-power surged. But there are instances in green power where technically the left side can be better. However, when you start getting into Starforge and Legion Hall as well, they now have a Therium cost. And if you're building less of them, such as the right side, where they're power surged, they still have the 50% unit train speed. And now you don't have to pay that extra Therium cost. You can technically, in this scenario, you would technically have 100 less Therium cost on the right, or 150 if it was Legion Halls, on top of the 17 extra power in this, you know, cost scenario. So overall, my point is essentially that power surge, pretty solid. I did show that there were slight discrepancies in this where the left side can be still better when you're in the green. But if you're ever not in the green, it's worse. Obviously, you just want to have as many production buildings as you can afford to have while producing at like max efficiency type of thing. But yeah, I would say use power surge when you can, because the benefit's pretty good. And it's also quite nice to have your units in general coming out of their production buildings quicker, because you want your units quicker into the fight. So as you saw, the first couple rounds of units each time were quicker. If you're ever slacking off in your production anyways, like maybe you didn't queue stuff up, then the right side is also better, right? Like there are, of course, lulls in production, particularly if there's parts of the game where you're not creeping and getting the extra gold from killing the creep camps. Maybe you don't have the gold yet, but when you finish the camp, then you start queuing up the units. You know, in those situations, the right side is also better because that first wave comes out quicker. We saw every time the 4 units coming out the quickest. So I prefer going a lot more power surge lately, but if you still prefer the left side, you can go with this when you want. But of course, you definitely don't want to underproduce, you know, creation chambers or whatever your production building is. You want to make sure you have enough of them, and then power surge when you can, in my opinion. But try out what you like, find what you like, and I hope you are enjoying the game. I hope you learned a little from this maybe, and good luck out there.